Hi guys, I thought for once in a while I would try doing the occasional Facebook Live, and as it's a sunny, summery afternoon finally, I thought today would be a good day to kick it off with a little bit of live crafting. I'm not always brilliantly comfortable at video, so bear with me, but today I am going to play with one of the new to us sets from Alton New. We've just caught up on all the May release from Alton New. This is one of the sets from last month. The brand new June Stamp and Die release has literally just been delivered about 10 minutes ago. So once I've done this, I'll be opening that up and getting that live for you as soon as possible. But for now, here's I'm going to show you a card I've already created with it, and then I'm going to create a second different look. So this is the first card that I've already done, which pretty much only uses this die set. So what I've done here is created like a faux embossing folder look just by using this sort of feathery element which goes over one of the leaves, but I've just die cut it repeatedly from white cardstock with stick it on the back for speed, and then just laid them in a random pattern to cover the base of my card, so it gives you a raised white on white pattern, so it looks like an embossing folder. And then I've selected just one of the flower shapes. So this flower is designed to go with the stem, but I haven't used the stem. I've just used the background and the little elements that come out of the stem to just create a single flower without a stem. Again, I've cut all of this from white, and I've used oxide inks to just ink blend in oranges and pinks, adding a little bit of shading on the edges to give the petals a bit more depth. And the same with the leaves. And then I finished that off just with a simple banner with Happy Birthday on, and the banner is the Greeteries tear strip banner dies. So that's card number one. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Then for card number two, I'm going to go with a square base card from Paper Mania. I don't know if you know, but we've started stocking Paper Mania cards. So we have square, A6 and A7 in white, cream and craft. It's not a US product, it's a UK product, but this is my preferred card base. I wanted to stock them because it's what I use all the time. So I'm going to do another floral die cut on this, but I want a bit of colour in the background. So I'm going to use a colour spot stencil from the Greetery. Now, none of these stencils are exactly as big as I need them to be for this image that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to make it fit. I'm not one for taping or spraying my stencils down, but I'll just, because it's live, I'll just put a tiny bit of tape on just to help hold it. So I'm using Bundled Sage Distress Oxide for this first shape, and I'm just going to gently blend a little bit of green up the stencil. And I'm not going to pay too much attention to the top of the stencil for the time being, as I'm happy with my colour at the bottom. I'm going to lift my stencil up, and I'm just going to move it up the card so that I'm filling the space that I want to fill. So taking the edges. So this is a great way, if the stencil doesn't quite do what you want it to do, just move it around and you can make the shape different. So that's my green stripe, and then I'm going to use the exact same stencil again to add a bit more colour. This time I'm going to go in with shaded lilac, and I haven't cleaned the stencil because I haven't brought a cleaning cloth with me, but never mind, it'll be okay. These are pale colours, so there's not too much transfer. So I'm just going to go over the top of the green and then blend that up to the top with my purple. I've picked really pale colours because I want something nice and soft in my background. There we go, bit of smudging, but it's live, so that's only to be expected. Right, so now I have I've done the die cutting already because I didn't want to waste time. I think we all know how to run a die through the die cut machine. So I've gone with the same flower again. Can you tell which was my favourite flower? So that this time I'm going to show how you can twist the look again. So for the first layer I've just done plain, and then for the second layer I've used the same cardstock, and I have added, just using a Copic marker, I've just added some gentle dots coming up the petals, and rather than layering it up straight on as is intended, if you just offset it with a little twist, then it gives you a completely different look. And once you put your petal down, your stem down, sorry, you can't see that it's offset, so it doesn't matter. So where's my glue? Glue this one together. Again, I did a lot of the I did a lot of the prep work off camera because it's a while since I've done this, and I didn't want you to be watching things for hours while I faff about remembering how to move things in and out of the camera. So there we go. Glue that down. So I'm using my Lawn Fawn glue, which is my favourite glue product, on my little Concord and Nines mat, which just stops me getting everything else sticky. And my tweezers, because I can't do anything without my tweezers. Okay, so that's going to fill in that area. And then I have the curly leaf again. I've used Concord and Ninth cardstock for this. Actually, not the iris colour is not. That's just some. I don't even know what brand that is. I'm afraid that's just something that I got out of my stash box. The green that I'm using now, I don't even know if you can see that at the moment, that is actually clover, I think, from Concord and Ninth, and the paler green is lemongrass. Okay, so I'm just going to layer that onto my leaf. So all these elements are die cut from the same ornate flower die from Alton New. So I'm just going to layer those up. And then I have a smaller leaf for the other side, which has a more feathery die cut layer to go on top. I should have used Stick It to make this quicker, shouldn't I, guys? Sorry. A few dots of glue. Lay that down on my tweezers. Put that to there. And then another flower. So for this layer, this flower has three layers. So you've got a patterned layer that's got some really nice embossed detail as well as the holes, a background that goes over it, and then a centre. And again, I've added a bit of Copic colouring, and then I've just added an enamel dot to the middle. This is Fig and Eggplant from Concord. And again, I'm going to twist this die so you can layer it up so it exactly fits. When I find the right bit, so that it would exactly fit the thing, but I'm going to twist it again so that we get extra petal detail showing through. And then I'm just going to add my flower off centre again in the middle. So that's going to go down at the bottom. And then I've die cut another one of the curly cues, but this time in purple. So it doesn't have to be a leaf, it could just be like a feather or a decorative element. So that's going to be my placement. So let's get those on. I always like to lay things out roughly so that I know what I'm doing before I finally glue things down. Add a bit of glue. So we'll start with the main element. Put that in place. And quickly add my leaf because I want that to be slightly behind the stem. So just lift that up before it's dry. And then I'm going to do all of these elements at once because there's a lot of sticky behindedness. So I'm going to put my flower in position first. Then I'm going to slot my leaf behind. And then I'm going to slot my feather element behind the leaf. And I didn't put enough glue on the flower. And somebody's at the door, sorry about that. So the final element is going to be a sentiment. So I thought I'd keep it all die cut. So for this one, I've got one of my favourite sentiments from the Greetery. They have a series of sentiments called Let's Have a Word, which does pretty much what it says on the tin. Different simple cursive die cut words. So this one says congrats, and it was just a perfect fit for my card. And I thought with the floral elements, this would make a good wedding card or an engagement card. So I thought the congrats worked quite well. Put some glue on, a few dots of glue, and then I'm going to lay that over the bottom of the flower into the air. That's a bit messy, but never mind. It'll dry. That's the beauty of long foam glue. It dries clear and it will rub off any that you don't want to be seen afterwards. So there you go, a bit of a haphazard, but hopefully that's given you an idea of how you can take the same single die and get two very different looks just by changing the layout, the colours, and the textures in the background. Okay, if you'd like to see more Facebook Lives in the future, give us a thumbs up, share the videos, and we'll see you soon. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.